This week, top Trump administration officials, including Attorney General Pam Bondi and FBI Director Kash Patel, met at the White House to discuss the Epstein case while Trump struggles to turn the page on the story. But what's continuously missing is the focus on those who were physically and emotionally hurt by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell's actions. On Thursday, House Democrats called for a congressional hearing with victims and survivors, writing, quote, "If we are to hold powerful people to account, our investigation must center the voices they tried to silence." A survivor who will not be silenced is Alicia Arden, who accused Epstein of sexual battery in Santa Monica, California in 1997. She spoke out Wednesday alongside her attorney, Gloria Allred, demanding the Justice Department release the Epstein files.
I believe, yes, the files should be released. I'm tired of the government saying that they want to release them. So please just do it. Jeffrey's in my brain and I see him again and again, and I remember what he did to me in that hotel room. And I feel pain in my heart for myself and all for the other victims everywhere.
And Alicia Arden and Gloria Allred join us now. Welcome, you guys. Alicia, this has been an ongoing fight for accountability and transparency. Talk to us about how you feel about this very personal fight and having to be public now.
Well, it continues to be a very upsetting matter. And I myself and probably the other victims, we didn't know that this would be ongoing for so long and in so many years. And now, why can't they just release the files? Because they keep talking about it. And Pam Bondi keeps talking about it since February. So if there is files and alleged pedophiles or people in them, then why can't I see them and the other victims? And we have a right to see that. So I don't know what they're protecting or if they don't want us to see that. It continues to be very upsetting for years later.
Gloria, this is Antonia here. I want to ask you, House Democrats right now are calling for a congressional hearing to give survivors the opportunity to speak. We also have coming out of the House Oversight Committee a number of subpoenas, although notably Alex Acosta is missing from that list of names. That's, of course, the person who back in 2008 helped make the sweetheart deal for Epstein happen. I want to know two things, I guess, from you. Is first, if you believe in our lawmakers to be able to provide an experience for survivors that would be respectful, but also if you trust that any of these endeavors, these pushes we see coming from the Hill, if they're actually going to bring us to anything that resembles justice.
Well, all they can really do is minimize the injustice that has been inflicted on victims for so many years. First, at the hands of Jeffrey Epstein, some at the hands of Ms. Maxwell as well, some both. And the failure, for example, of Alex Acosta, who was then United States Attorney for the Southern District of Florida, to proceed with the prosecution of Mr. Epstein in 2008, and instead kind of handed off to the state attorney who entered into a sweetheart deal with Jeffrey Epstein, where he just pled guilty to soliciting prostitution from a minor, and then was able to work at his office during the serving of his sentence and just sleep in jail at night. That was not justice. And there has been injustice, of course, when the hopes of many victims were raised because Jeffrey Epstein was arrested and taken into custody. And then, in fact, I was there at the last hearing where he was present in federal court. And then to find that justice was denied because he either committed suicide or was a victim of homicide, the bottom line is he died in the custody of Metropolitan Center, so where he's being held. So once again, hopes are raised that perhaps with the release of the files, there will be some form of justice. But that's a battle that's taking place in the Congress, in the courts, and elsewhere. And there's a lot of fear among a lot of victims that's triggering, as Alicia said, to them, the traumas returning, maybe never left for some victims. And there's a lot of fear that by some victims, their names will be released, or if they appear before Congress, that they'll be bullied. And we don't need that. So they shouldn't be subpoenaed, but they should be invited to testify before Congress if they so wish.
Alicia, Elise here. Your story is so maddening because at the time you were assaulted by Jeffrey Epstein in a hotel room in Santa Monica, you went to the police. And then you went back a week later and you registered your complaint. You filed your charges and it was dismissed and the police later said that you had not wanted to press charges. And cut to before Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced, you had a conversation with Virginia Giuffre, who went through horrific abuse with Epstein and with Ghislaine Maxwell. And she said something similar to the same effect, that it was so hard to put in the complaint and to go to the police because the perpetrators were so powerful. What can we do to make it more accessible? What has to happen as a society so that victims can come forward? And how does the community of Epstein survivors that you're a part of feel now that this original problem of the perpetrators are too powerful so that you don't report and it makes it so difficult, it's still a problem decades later as we're trying to get transparency about what happened?
Exactly, Elise. I think so too. I mean, at the time when I wanted to go and file, because I was so traumatized that I wanted to go in there and file the police report. This is 1997. I didn't know about the Me Too movement. I never had heard of it. And I just wanted to go in and file a report. And I was told, are you sure? Do you want to think about it? And I wasn't welcome to file the report at all. They told me to come back and file it in a week. So I thought about it and I went back. And then when I was in New York, I did meet Virginia Giuffre and I asked her if she was able to file a police report. And I told her I did in California. And she said she couldn't do that. She was around rich and powerful people. And I believe her because I had a hard time doing it. And I went back and I was discouraged by the police department of Santa Monica to do it. I was discouraged by my family and I felt that I needed to. And I believe Virginia was discouraged. She couldn't go do that. She told me she was around rich and powerful people. So yes, to your point, I didn't hear of the Me Too movement. I didn't have any help. I was scared to do it. And it seems like Virginia was too. And other victims haven't really filed a report. I seem to be the only one. So there should be changes and help for us because it's not easy for us to do it if we feel the need to do it in any city.
Alicia Arden, first, thank you so much for sharing your story. As you just described, it takes a lot of bravery to be able to file a report, but it also takes a lot of bravery to talk to reporters about your experience many years later. So we thank you, and thank you to Gloria Allred for being with us this evening.